Nhexus, level 25 upgrade. And there you have it, Losi's 10T wing and wing mount. Now I want to go ahead and get this because the wing on there right now, it's just too flimsy and it's not going to take long for it to be scraped up and it's going to look like crap. So I got these. A lot of other people who have the Bandit go this route too, so I'm going to do the same thing. Let's go and open these up and check them out. I'll go ahead and open up the wing mount first. Get scissors, cut this open. Now it also has, I think, the body mount post too. Yeah, I'm not going to need those at all. Get to figure out where I'm going to use those. Okay, and here it is. That is exactly what I'm going to be using. I might be using this, I'm not too sure. It doesn't give you any screws though, so I'm going to have to put in my own screws to put this all together. So, now that we got this out of the way, let's open up the wing. The wing itself, it's nice, it's black. It's going to look really good on Nhexus, that's for sure. It gives you a couple of these for you to hook this all together because, yeah, that's interesting. Instead of it using a screw to hold it together, it actually uses these little pins. So let's go ahead and get this onto Nhexus and see how it looks. So the first step is just taking off the old wing, and all I have to do is pry these two bars out from the rear shock tower. Alright, now that the old wing is out of the way, I need to go ahead and put the wing mount together. So how this works is that there's a center piece that hooks up to each side, and then there's two screws that go on from each side to hold it all together. And I'm just going to use some leftover stainless steel screws. And there we go, I have it all together. Now I thought I had some extra stainless steel, but I ran out. Surprising, huh? But anyways, I ended up using these sizes. I think they're actually 12 millimeters long, but they are the stock VXL screws. And I have a ton of these left over. And I just went ahead and put two on each side going inwards. Now I need to go ahead and work on attaching it to a shock tower. This shock tower, however, is broken on the bottom, so I'm just going to go ahead and replace it with another stock one I have. So this is how I'm going to attach it to the shock tower. These two top holes perfectly align with these two top holes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and drill these two top holes a little bit wider so this kind of screw can fit in there, because as you can see there's a slot for a 3mm nut to go in there, and that's what I'm going to be doing, because having this being held in there with just that, it's not going to work. Also, these two bottom holes from the wing mount do not align with the holes on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is that after I install the two top screws, I'm going to go ahead and drill two new holes through this part of the shock tower. That way I can go ahead and mount two more screws on the bottom. That way it will be really sturdy. As you can see, I went ahead and drilled the hole out a little bit bigger so these kind of screws can fit through. Now, the next step that I did was I went ahead and put the wing mount on, put a little small screwdriver through that hole, and marked where I'm going to be doing the next two holes. Now that I have my two custom holes drilled out, I can go ahead and attach this to the shock tower. So the first step is I'm going to get a 3mm nut, slide it into that little groove. I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. Now I'm going to put a screw in through this side and attach it just like that. Now in order for me to tighten this screw all the way down, I'm going to have to stop that little nut from spinning. So I'm going to get a small flathead screwdriver. I'm going to go ahead and prop it right there on the side of the nut. This will keep it from spinning. That way I can go ahead and tighten this down the rest of the way without it having any problems. The next step is to go ahead and slide a screw right on through the back, and then use another 3mm nut on the other side, and that one I can easily just go ahead and use this tool to hold the nut in place. Alright, and now this is completely together, and boy is that sturdy. Now I need to go ahead and install this. So the first step is I'm going to be removing the old rear shock tower by undoing these 4 screws that hold it to the chassis, as well as removing it from the shocks by undoing these 2 shoulder screws. I went ahead and removed all the wires from the motor that go to the ESC, lift up the shock tower, and now I'm going to remove the rear camber links, or at least the top part of it, by undoing these 2 screws. And now you can see exactly what I mean by the rear shock tower being broken. Now, if you're going to be doing this upgrade yourself, I highly suggest that you do the wing mount and attach it to the rear shock tower while it's still installed. because as you can see, the wing mount is actually right above the two screws that hold the rear shock tower down. Now I have a rounded tip hex screwdriver, so I can literally screw it in at an angle. But if you don't have a rounded tip, you're not going to be able to do this. So just want to go ahead and let you know about that real quick. So now it's the reverse process. I'm going to attach the rear camber links as well as 4 top screws that hold it in and reattach the top of the shocks. And that's it. All I have to do now is attach the fin and check it out. Here is before. And here is after. It's actually a really big difference. The fin does ride higher than the stock one, but honestly, I really do love the look of this. It just seems to fit better. Not to mention this is way sturdier. I mean, how the stock one is with its little metal wire, and it's just stupid. But this, yes, much, much better. And that was a level 25 upgrade for Nhexus.